Gets dark in about an hour. So I wanted to talk to you about something real quick. Somebody had messaged me and said, can you give us a little information on your flight, how you booked it, how you booked your first hotel, any complications. Let's just touch base on that real quick. I had to look that information up because it's been a while now. I've been here, you know, 4 months, and I kind of forgot. Christmas, not this last Christmas when I was here, but the Christmas before is when I decided that I was going to do this. So I pulled the trigger Christmas, told my parents, told everybody, and here's Winter Hotel we just did. There is on-street parking or off-street parking. So somebody was asking about that too. Can you include if there's off-street parking at these places? So don't mean you get sidetracked, but yes, Winter Hotel does have off-street parking. But anyways, Christmas I told the parents, and then I didn't book it till, I didn't book my flight till June, and I left September 6th. I got here September 8th because of the time change, 14 hours ahead, 12 hours ahead, whatever it was at the time. Of course it took, you know, 27 hours to get here. Went to LAX from Minnesota, and then from LAX I did a direct flight right into Manila. I hate flying, so I wanted to make it as minimal stops, and I guess I was gonna have to deal with the longer flight because I wanted to do it that way, but I didn't want any layovers. I didn't want my luggage getting lost. So that's what I did. And I had a 15-hour flight from Manila, or not from Manila, from LAX to Manila. And you know what's funny is I've flown a few times recently, right before that. So they approached me in an email and they said, you know, Delta or whoever it was, no, Korean Air, that's what it was. And they said, would you like to upgrade to business class? So the minimal offer to upgrade to business class was $800 all the way up to like $3,500. You could put in a blind bid and they'll let you know if you want it. And I thought, okay, you know what, I hate flying so much, I'll do the $800 more and we'll see. My ticket already was $1,800, so that'd be like a $2,600 ticket. But again, I mean, I've had panic attacks on planes before. That amount of money wasn't an issue. In fact, the panic attack on the airplane is one of the reasons I got into a anti-anxiety medication, because that was, I don't know if you've ever had a panic attack, but it's one of the worst feelings in the world. You're out of control. I mean, I stood up, I tried to start tearing my shirt off, I yelled real quick, and then I settled myself down within, you know, 10 seconds, but you're out of control. Anyways, I got it. I got that extra bump up to business class for that $800. So yeah, my ticket was extremely expensive to get here, but I knew I was going to be here for 8 months, so it wasn't a big deal to me. 7-Eleven. We're just gonna sit here at 7-Eleven for a second so I can finish my story. Watch some traffic. I feel like one of those door openers hanging out here that like to, you know, get some change from you if you give it to them. My flight was all good. Slept the whole way because they fly those long flights at night. It was lights out. I reclined in my seat because I had business class. In fact, I might have a little video of it right there that I'll show you. If I have, I'll add it here, of the seating and how it worked out and the accommodations I had on the airplane. But before I left, I also wanted to make sure I had a hotel lined up. And through watching Philly Bryan and some other vloggers, the vlogs that I really liked listening to were the ones that were, if I was to do this again, what would I do different? Those are the ones I wanted to really pay attention to. And a bunch of them were saying that I would not have a girl lined up, which I didn't. I would jump into a hotel for about 8 nights, and then I would, you know, just run all over the place and try to find accommodations, hotels, other hotels if it runs out, or apartments, which is what I did. And if you've been following my story, I was in 3 different hotels. Maybe it was 4 for 2 months before I could get into my long-term apartment. My very first hotel was right there on Walking Street. It was the, I always get this wrong. It was the Hotel Royal Amsterdam. Great little place. The only thing wrong with that one was the bed. I think Jimmy Hoffa was underneath the bed at that one because there was a mound in the middle that was terrible. But again, it was only for 8 nights. After that, I went over to Clark Pad Inn, which is on the other side of MacArthur, and that was kind of a that was like a jail cell room, but it was only like $8, $10, $11 a night, so I couldn't complain. Stayed there for about 3 weeks. And everything was smooth. You know, I did my research. I set myself up right. I took out any complications that there might have been through extensive research, getting everything in a row. Knowing that my life was going to change and I was selling everything and I was moving to the Philippines, believe me, you really lock shit down and you do it right because you don't want any complications. So that's what I did. I did it in a hotel for 8 nights. I had my airfare, which is extremely expensive, but it got me here. I had met with my doctor prior to getting on the airplane as well, and I got some pills that would help me sleep if I needed to. I told him my anguish that I go through, even though I was on anti-anxieties. He said, here, take these, you know. Take a couple of them if you need to, which I did. I jumped on the airplane, and I didn't right away. And then I was struggling sleeping, so I popped a couple pills. I was sitting next to a really cool couple, Filipino couple. So I chit-chatted with them, and before I know it, they were sleeping. Lights go out. I was sleeping. I was restless because I'm always restless when I sleep anyway. But before I knew it, we were on the decline, and I was happy as a lark. Got into Manila, went through immigrations and customs. There's a couple little sheets they have you fill out on the airplane so that you're ready for it. I did have one slight issue when I got to the airport in Manila. Because they want you to have a disposable ticket within 30 days showing that you are going to go back or you're leaving. I didn't have that. I had just booked my 8-month stay ticket here. So when I got to immigration, or to whichever one it was, where they stamp your, must have been immigration, stamp your passport. She grabbed my passport and asked me, you know, about my ticket, and I said I don't have a 30-day, but I do have a return ticket. It's not for 8 months, and she didn't really like that. But I had a photo of the return flight on my phone, which my phone was not working in the airport, so thank God I had screenshotted everything I needed, like my One Health passes, my return tickets, my hotel reservations, my airline reservations. Everything was screenshotted before I left. And thank God I did do that, because once I showed her the return ticket that I had screenshotted, she was cool. Everything was cool. They let me go. She stamped my thing, and I think I told you all this before. I sat down in the airport after that, and I cried for a minute because everything worked out. What a big move I had made. I had accomplished what I had set out to do. A huge ass change in my life, where I sold everything in my life. I decided to move to the Philippines, and I decided to pursue YouTube here. So that's what I'm doing. But honestly, when I was at the airport, it was just an emotional overload for me. So I sat there for an hour and pulled my shit together. I was so happy. I was so scared. I was so everything. But it's worked out. I'm so glad that I made the leap of faith to do everything. Everything's coming together still the way I planned it. I got into the long-term apartment that I wanted 2 months after I had arrived here. But it was the one I had seen online. In fact, if you remember hearing that story with the awesome setup and all the amenities that I really like, newly renovated, 2 huge TVs, fresh water, laundry in the unit. Yes. So just like anybody who's going to be doing a vacation or thinking of moving this way and trying to sell everything, You know, if you set your mind to it, you can do anything in this world. I've realized that for several years. Anything I've ever set my mind to, anything I've ever wanted to buy, anything I've ever wanted to do, anywhere I've ever wanted to go, as long as you set your mind to it, you can accomplish anything in this world. This was a dream, and I pulled it off at 7 months. You know, I did my research. I sold all my house stuff, my garage stuff, all my toys, and I was here in September. I even bumped it up a couple months early because I was ready early. Yes. This was only going to be 3 months, and then it was going to be 6 months, and now it's 8 months. And even now, Mom, I know you're probably not going to like hearing this, but I don't think I'm going to be coming home in May. I am going to come home probably in August now, because why would I want to come home when the weather's crap? I know that August Minnesota weather will be fine. So I'm thinking I'm going to bump my ticket, my return flight back, probably till then. You know, that's like 2.5 months later. Hey, June, July, August, end of August, I'll do the fantasy football draft with the guys there in Big Lake. I'll keep that going because we've been doing that for 20 years. And then I'll get back here. So I no longer am going to be going back to Minnesota for 4 months and 8 months here. I'm going to be 11 months here and maybe 1 month there, so I can keep up with my doctor every year. I still carry major medical health insurance in the States just in case something goes wrong. So that's a bill I never include or tell anybody, but it's something you got to have just in case. My father always taught me, you know, insurance. You got to have insurance pretty much on everything. Just, you don't want to run that risk. You know, getting caught, getting sick, getting in an accident or anything. So that's, you know, that's about $400 a month. And I got to have it. So that's pretty much it, you guys. Sorry I got so long-winded, but hopefully this is some helpful information for y'all. Yeah. So this is Chubbs signing off. We got a little Adrian action here again today. We mixed it up a little bit. We added a little different information. So stay tuned for Adrian, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't, think about subscribing. Hit that like button, send a comment. You guys are a good audience. I love you guys. A great group of subscribers. A lot of good positive messages. So again, Narciso Street. Look at that little wagon full of family there. This place still amazes me every day, especially all the locals and how they live, and it's just it's awesome. You know, such a sense of family, which I really didn't have. I thought I had that growing up, but I really didn't. Again, we'll touch base on all that down the road. But all right, Ann, shout out. I don't know if I'll see you before this scouts out, but Mrs. Ann's coming back, everybody. We all miss her. Miss you, Ann. All right, guys, talk to you in the next one. Yeah, one more thing. I arrived at 4:20 in the morning, so I wasn't sure if the buses were running. I went to somebody and I says, where are the buses? And they told me the buses weren't running, which I think they were running. So I paid $7,000 in a taxi fee to get here. Again, didn't give a shit because I just wanted to get somewhere because I had jet lagged. I was anxious. I was excited. I was, you know, just tired. So I paid that 7,000 pesos to get from Manila to Angeles City, which was like a 2-hour drive. I had them bring me right to my rental car, which I had lined up through Avis. No, it was through Hertz in Clark. And then from there, I jumped in my rental at about 7:30 in the morning, and I shot over and I saw Philly Bryan at Tequila Reef by about 8:30 in the morning. So everything worked out time-wise. But yeah, I paid a little bit extra in that whole travels. They bumped up airfare, the expensive taxi ride, all that. But there again, I did not care because I was here. I was excited. I just wanted to get to my hotel room. I wanted to get to my rental car. Hey, sometimes you got to pay a little extra just to make sure that it's going to work out. Ooh, you know what time it is.
Right.
It's Adrian time.
All right.
Shut up.
All right. Shout out to June Kayanan from Southern Cal. Shout out to Fred Kayanan from Duarte, Cali. Shout out to Raul the Impair. Shout out to Regular Guy. Shout out to Dave and Jaden from Massachusetts. Shout out to Ken Bonbarry from Western Australia.
Woo!
Thank you for watching, sports fan.
Sports fans, yes. Okay, Australia. There's
Oh.
6 states and 2 territories, right?
Okay.
What is the capital of New South Wales?
Oh, the state capital is Sydney.
Okay, how about Victoria?
State capital Melbourne.
Queensland?
State capital Brisbane.
Western Australia?
State capital Perth.
South Australia?
State capital Adelaide.
And Tasmania?
Oh, state capital Hobart.
Oh my god, you guys. Okay, there's 2 territories now.
Okay.
Northern Territory,
The capital is Darwin.
Darwin, nice. And ACT?
Capital Canberra.
Yes. Okay, what's the national bird of Australia?
Emu.
What's the national flower of Australia?
Golden Wattle.
Somebody said this a while ago. What about his own country? Does he know anything of that?
What's your national flower here in the Philippines?
Our national flower is Sampaguita.
Okay, what's the national animal?
Our national animal is Carabao.
You can't stump this guy.
All right.
At this time, I'm going to ask you to fasten your seatbelts.
Thank you very much.